Hello everyone. Welcome back to Mahavir Jain Academy. This is your Mahavir sir. Last week we discussed model question paper 4, official paper, which was provided by the state board. So, today we are here to discuss model question paper number 3. So, first I will be discussing chemistry and biology part. Then later one of my friend or colleague Amit sir will be discussing the physics part. So let us try to understand all the different ways the questions will be asked over here, and in pertaining to that particular question, what are the different concepts are there, that also will be going through. Each and every question with detailed answers are provided in this particular PDF. So let us try to understand one by one. First, let us go and start discussing with the chemistry part, then biology, then last part will be the physics part. So let's start with the chemistry. That is, yes, chemistry part B. So as we know that chemistry first section will contain 3 marks. Each question will carry 1 mark. 3 MCQs will be there, and let us try to understand one by one. So the first question over here is, that is the 13th question, the chemical formula of the bleaching powder. Okay, that is calcium oxychloride, CaOCl2. Similarly, there are 5 salts are there. It might be baking soda, washing soda, plaster of Paris, okay, and caustic soda. So you should know all these 5 salt, common name, chemical formula, and preparation and its uses. Out of these 5 salts, definitely one salt they'll ask either for 1 mark, or they might go for 3 marks question also. Write the preparation, molecular formula, and its uses and all. So be prepared with it. This is 100% sure they'll ask, keep on asking. So the correct answer is the calcium oxychloride. So the next question is, that is the 14th one, MCQ. So they are given 2 equations over here. Try to understand. 2 equations are there. See, one equation here is copper sulfate. Okay, iron react with the copper sulfate to form ferrous sulfate and copper. And here silver nitrate will react with the copper to form copper nitrate and the silver. So this is an example for the displacement reaction. Here the iron is displacing the copper from the copper sulfate, and copper is displaced. So iron displacing the copper. Here copper is displacing the silver from the silver nitrate. That means, so which is more reactive, which is less reactive, we need to understand. Okay, that means now iron, you in context to the copper, if you consider, copper is less reactive than the iron. That's the reason iron is able to displace the copper. In the second equation, copper is more reactive than the silver. That's the reason copper is displacing the silver from its salt. That means the correct option is copper is more reactive than the silver, but less reactive than the iron is the correct answer. So you should know the reactivity series for sure. Based on that, so many questions will arise. So make sure that you know the correct series. Okay. So next one, see here, another structure with the same molecular formula of the compound in the following structural formula. Already they given one structure. So let us try to understand what is the structure. 4 carbons are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bute. And we have 10 hydrogen atoms. That is a butane. They are telling another structure with the same molecular formula. Molecular formula should be same. 4 carbon has to be there. 10 hydrogen atom has to be there. 4 options are given over here. You just see which is the correct one. Now here OH is there. It will not come. Here double bond is there. Hydrogen 2 less are there. Only 8 hydrogen is there. Molecular formula will be not right. Here triple bond is there, so 4 hydrogens are missing over here, only 6 hydrogens are there. That is also not a correct molecular formula. But when you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons are there, hydrogen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They both are matching. First write on the molecular formula, match with the molecular formula, different structure. This is a N-butane, this is a isobutane. This is a N-butane. Structural isomers of the butane, they last for 2 marks, and write the structural formula for the butane, write the structural formula for the pentane and all. So if you are writing in a straight chain, that is a N-butane or N-alkane. If you are writing in the branched structure, that will become iso. Then we are writing in the cyclic form, that will become neo. So this is fixed question once again. So this is all the 3 MCQ questions. Now next one, next 7th section, that is answer the following questions, each carry 1 mark. Total again 3 questions are there. Okay, 3 questions, each carry 1 mark. So let us try to understand. So what is the reason for the formation of the brown colored fume? Whenever in your board exam, if they ask brown colored fume, that will be always nitrogen dioxide. So how this is formed? Already we discussed in the first chapter, right? When you heat the lead nitrate, okay, lead nitrate, it will produce what? Brown color fumes. And whenever if they ask heating of any carbonate compounds, and if they're asking which gas will produce carbonate, if is there, CO3 is there, definitely the gas will be the carbon dioxide. That kind of questions also will come. Okay, now here the correct answer is the nitrogen dioxide gas, and the color of the nitrogen dioxide gas is the brown color. Brown color. Remember this. Okay. So name any two metals that are available in the pure form in the nature. Pure form, which are least reactive in the reactivity series, those will be in the pure form. Gold, silver, platinum, you can write. What is significance of the hydrogenation? So hydrogenation, what they are doing, they are converting the unsaturated hydrocarbon into saturated hydrocarbon compound by adding the hydrogen in the presence of the catalyst. Which catalyst? Nickel and palladium. Yes. So what they are doing, they are converting this vanaspati ghee into dalda or the margarine and all. So why they are doing this? Exact reason. If they convert this unsaturated to saturated, if they convert this vegetable oil into vanaspati ghee, this vanaspati ghee can be preserved for the longer period of time as it is less reactive because of the saturated hydrocarbon compound. If it is vegetable oil, this unsaturated hydrocarbon compound, it will undergo oxidation, it will become rancid. Okay, so that's the reason what they'll do, they'll convert into vanaspati ghee. They'll convert it from unsaturated to saturated hydrocarbon compound so that can be preserved for longer period of time and which is not good for health at all. Okay, because saturated hydrocarbon compounds are not easily digestible in the inside our body compared to that of the unsaturated hydrocarbon compounds. So keep that in mind. The next one. The next one is the 2 marks questions. 3 questions are there. Each questions will carry 2 marks. That is 19th, 20 and 21st. So let us try to understand. The solution of the baking soda is commonly applied to the area of the honeybee stung area. Justify this action. Very simple. Where honeybee will bite, definitely is going to inject the methanoic acid. Which acid? Methanoic acid. And definitely it will cause the burning sensation. So that time what we'll do, we'll apply the baking soda, because baking soda is basic in nature. It will neutralize the acidity in our skin and give relief to the pain. So that's what you are supposed to write. Very simple question. Next one, how is pure mercury obtained? So pure mercury obtained from the cinnabar. So cinnabar is the another name for the mercury sulfide. Mercury sulfide. So sulfide ores can be extracted with the help of the method so called roasting. We know all of them. Carbonate ores can be extracted by the calcination. Calcination, heating of the carbonate ore in the limited supply of oxygen. Sulfide ores, heating them in the excess supply of the oxygen, we call it as roasting. So what we will do? Pure mercury is obtained from the cinnabar by heating. Remember, in the presence of oxygen, we get the respective oxide form. Then when we further heat it, we will get the mercury. So this is how the pure mercury is obtained from the cinnabar. Write properly the form of sentence, mention the equations. They will not ask every time write the equation and all. So keep that in mind. Next one, or question in the 20th. Why the calcium does not catch fire when it reacts with the water? Whenever sodium, potassium, which are extremely reactive, when they come in contact with the water, immediately they catch fire because the amount of heat generated is very much high. But when it comes to the calcium, okay, when it reacts with the water, it will also generate the heat. It will also generate the heat, but the amount of heat generated is not sufficient to catch the fire. The amount of heat generated is not sufficient to catch the fire. That's the reason calcium will not catch the fire when it is come in contact with the water. The reaction of calcium with the water is less violent. That means the heat evolved is not sufficient for the hydrogen to catch the fire. And what happens when you mix the, one more question will come on this concept, that is, when you mix the calcium with the water, it will liberate the hydrogen gas. That hydrogen gas bubbles will start sticking around the calcium. It will start sticking this calcium around the calcium. This hydrogen gas bubbles will stick around. That's the reason calcium will come and float on the surface of the water. Keep that in mind. Sometimes they'll ask, questions related to this also. Okay, hope this is clear. Next one. Okay, carbon compounds are found in large number in the nature. Why? Clarify the reason. They are asking the versatile nature of the carbon. So I need two property we can mention. Now here mention here tetravalency and the catenation. So tetravalency means carbon is tetravalent. It's having 4 bonds. So you can combine with the other atoms and all. The carbon has a valency of 4. It is capable of bonding with the 4 other atoms of the carbon or the atoms of the some other element. That property is called a tetravalency. That's why carbon is unique. And catenation. So carbon can bond with the another carbon atom to form the long chain molecules, branch chain or ring structure. That is called as catenation. 4 properties are there. One is tetravalency, catenation, polymerization, and isomerism. So do not forget to mention these 2 properties whenever they ask regarding the unique property of the carbon, why it is so and all. Clear? Yes? Next one is 3 marks 3 questions. 3 marks 3 questions. Now see here. So first one, 22nd, A option is there. A and B options are there. Magnesium ribbon burns with a dazzling white flame in the air and changes into magnesium oxide. Mention the type of reaction. Very simple. Magnesium plus oxygen to form magnesium oxide. 2 reactants, only single product. Which type of reaction? Combination reaction. Here lot amount of heat is generated. So it is also called as what? Exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction. So next one. List of the observation that help us determine the chemical reaction has been taken place. If you see something, how can you tell by seeing that chemical reaction is taken place? So many, very simple question. Change in color, change in the temperature, formation of the new substance, okay? Change in the state of matter, evolution of gas, etc. etc. At least 4 you are supposed to write if they ask for 2 marks and all. Okay. Or they are given chemical equation has to be balanced. What is the reason we need to balance a chemical equation? Because we need to follow the law of conservation of the mass. That means the number of atoms on the reactant side should be equal to that of the number of atoms on the product side. That's the reason we balance the chemical equation. Next question over here is sub question. Mention the measures that follow to prevent rusting of iron. Oiling, greasing, painting, galvanization, chromium plating are the some of the measures you can take to prevent the rusting. And this diagram frequently they will ask, that is the reaction of the zinc with the dilute sulfuric acid and testing the hydrogen gas, or generally what we call it as Popson diagram. Yes, practice it, understand the label, delivery tube is there. Okay, here zinc granules, you label it at the bottom. And if they ask hydrogen gas bubbles to label, so you mention the bubbles at the upper surface of this liquid, and this is the acid. Okay, H2SO4, rubber cork is there, test tube is there, soap solution is there, hydrogen gas bubbles are there, and it is giving the pop sound and all. Okay, practice this diagram. Do not forget to use the scale and all. Do not draw the freehand diagram when it comes to the chemistry part. Okay. Next one, show the formation of this. Again, 100% they will ask the dot structure. Either they ask sodium chloride or the magnesium chloride, but for sure they will ask. Rare case if they miss out here, they will go for Lewis dot structure in the carbon compound chapter. Dot structure for the water molecule, carbon dioxide, ethane, methane, they'll ask there. But most probably they'll ask. If they skip here, they'll go. But for sure they'll ask. While writing the dot structure, formation of the magnesium chloride by transfer of electron, make sure you first now magnesium chlorine. First write the atomic number of the magnesium, then write the atomic number of the chlorine, then write in the sentence magnesium will donate 2 electrons to form magnesium cation. Chlorine will get 2 electrons to form chlorine anion. Write that equation Mg. Okay, arrow mark Mg plus 2 electrons. You write, then at last you write the dot structure. Directly do not write. Okay, it's not a right way of expressing this equation and all. Next question is aluminum oxide is called as amphoteric oxide. Why? Because it reacts with both acid and base to produce salt and water. Along with that, write an example over here. Aluminum oxide with the HCl, aluminum chloride plus water, or aluminum chloride with the aluminum oxide with the sodium hydroxide, sodium aluminate plus water. Write the equation. Any one example you are supposed to write. Okay, sir, they are not asked any example over here. Why should we write? No, you are supposed to write. Okay, that is a advantage for you to get the good marks. Next one, write any 2 difference between the saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbon compound. Yes, in model question 4 also, what you discussed earlier, you can go back and check again same questions. Some of the questions are similar over here. So they have the single bond between the carbon atoms. They have double or triple bond. They are less reactive. They are more reactive. Alkenes and alkynes over here. And one more, if you burn saturated hydrocarbon compound, it will give blue and non-sooty flame, and unsaturated hydrocarbon compound they produce yellow and sooty flame. That also you can add. Now this one is again 100% based on the structure carbons compound. They keep on asking this for 3 marks question. Write the molecular formula and the structural formula for the following carbon compounds. Again, propanoic acid. Prop means how many? 3 carbon atoms, right? Prop. Oic acid, definitely COOH will come. Double bond O and single bond OH will come. And here cyclohexane, in model question number 4 I said, same thing. Cyclohexane formula will be always CnH2n only, because terminal end of the carbon will attach each other, or 2 hydrogen will be reduced. Sir, cyclohexane ANE don't write CnH2n plus 2. Okay, cyclohexane formula will be CnH2n. Don't get confused. Okay, so write the structure formula 1, 2, 3. Here we are writing double bond O and single bond H, oic acid. Okay, and write the formula CH3, CH2, and at last COOH. Aldehyde at last CHO. Alcohol at last you should write OH. Then cyclohexane, hex means 6, C6, okay, H12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First you write the carbon, each carbon will having 2 hydrogen, because each carbon will having only 4 bonds, no? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, CnH2. This is clear, right? Any confusion, no, right? Very important. Okay, fine. Pause. So that's all the chemistry part. So now we are going to start with the biology. After that, physics will be discussed by the Amit sir. Hope it's clear. Any sort of doubts are there in between at all, please do not forget to mention in the comment section. I will try to clarify your doubts and all. And if you definitely like my teaching, the way of explanation, what I am doing and all, please do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends so that they can take advantage of this solved model question papers and all. And whenever I am moving away from the screen, you can take the screenshot. Or if you want the PDF of this one, you can mention in the comment section. Definitely, I will send you the PDF. Fine. So again, here we have 3 MCQ questions over here in the biology section. Okay. So first one is the function of the stomata among the following. Stomata function. So you just check all the options. Establishing the osmotic pressure, transportation of the water and food will not happen, preparation of the food will not happen, exchange of the gases will happen. So the option is the correct answer. Okay. So 2 major functions of the stomata. One is exchange of the gases, second one is the transpiration. If any out of these 2 one is given, we can mention over there. The plant hormone responsible for the phototropism in the plant is phototropism, auxin. I told, right, auxins are light sensitive. Tip of the shoot they will be present. So if they don't like, if the light is coming from this direction, all the oxygen hormones from this part will shift towards this one. And the main function of the oxygen hormone is the cell elongation. So this part only cell elongation will happen. This part where the light is falling, there is no oxygen hormone. So slowly what will happen? They start bending towards the light. So the plant hormone responsible for the phototropism in the plant is the auxin. Cytokinin, rapid cell division. Again, rapid cell division, seeds and fruits and all. Abscisic acid, growth inhibitor, wilting of, shedding of leaves and all. Gibberellin, stem elongation and the leaf expansion. Okay. So the common bacterial infection that spread through the sexual contact in the human beings is gonorrhea. One more gonorrhea and one more is bacterial infection. And syphilis. And viral STDs are the AIDS, HIV AIDS and the warts. Remember that. So next one is, again 3 marks, 1 question, not the MCQ, question answers. So double circulation of the blood is essential to the maintain constant body temperature in the mammals. Why? Because double circulation allows a more efficient supply of the oxygen. It keeps the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood separate without mixing. Because of that only, more efficient supply of oxygen to the body cells, in turn production of the more energy, and this most of the energy which is produced will be utilized to maintain the body temperature in the mammals and all. So that's how you are supposed to write. Next one, is self-pollination possible in the flowers that have only stamens? No, not at all. Self-pollination will happen only when the male and female reproductive part are present in the same flower. In unisexual flower, the self-pollination will not happen. Only in the bisexual flower, the self-pollination happen, because in the bisexual flower, both stamen and pistil will be there. Both male reproductive part and female reproductive part, both will be there. Okay, that's what we are supposed to write the answer. What is DNA replication? The process in which the DNA creates its own copy is called as DNA replication. On the DNA concept, every year in the board exam, they will come up with one such question, and most students will fail to write that answer. So that's the heredity and reproduction chapter. What are the DNA related the information they give in the textbook? Try to read each every line and try to understand, because we don't know. Last year there was one question asked, which is the information source for making the proteins. And when you heard the protein word, most of them they wrote the option as a ribosome, but the information source for the protein is a DNA. So like that they'll come up with the question. Be careful. You tend to score 99 and you miss out 1 mark. So that's what will happen. This concept, DNA, variation and all. So diagram of the nephron, please do practice. Yes, very important diagram. Okay. Next one is, what is reflex arc? In many animals, reflex arc have been found an effective way of functioning. Why? So what is reflex arc? See, reflex action. What is reflex action? We know that the sudden, immediate and quick response by the body to a stimulus by an organism is called reflex action. Now what is reflex arc? It is a pathway through which the nerve impulse travel during the reflex action. When touch a hot object, sensory neuron will carry the message to the relay neuron, again relay neuron, spinal cord, and again from spinal cord, motor neuron to the effectors, right? So there is a pathway through which the nerve impulse are traveling during the reflex action. That pathway is called as reflex arc. Okay, and in many animals, reflex arcs have been found an effective way of functioning. Yes, reflex arc is helping in emergency situation when you are getting hurt and all. So the thinking process of the brain is not enough, fast enough. So reflex arc have been found an effective way of functioning, because here the spinal cord is taking the decision during the emergency situations and all. When you touch a hot object, when you keep your feet on the thorn and all. Without our knowledge, we are taking or pulling our hand or legs away, right? So that's the reason. So next one is 3 marks question, brain diagram. Every year they keep on asking this brain diagram. But this year I am feeling that they might, you practice all the diagrams which are important, you practice, but I am personally feeling that they might go for heart diagram, human heart. From so many times, so many years they didn't ask in the board exam, so I am feeling that they'll ask the human heart. So practice all the diagrams, they are very simple and easy. Now 35, that is again, it is there for how many marks? 3 marks. Father only determines the sex of the child. Why? So this is again very simple concept, very simple. Like heredity, 3 major concepts. One will come for 3 marks. One is monohybrid, dihybrid, or sex determination. 3 concepts. Out of these 3 concepts, 1 question will come for 3 marks. Definitely father will determine the sex of the child. Yes, because father is having X and Y chromosomes. If the sperm carrying the X chromosome will fuse with the X chromosome of the egg, then definitely the child will be the baby girl. If the father sperm carrying the Y chromosome, if it will go and fuse and form the zygote with the female egg, then definitely it will be the baby boy. 50% the chances are baby boy, 50% chances are baby girl. But while writing the answer, make sure you write in a proper sentence. Okay, each and every cell of the human beings will contain 23 pairs of chromosomes. Out of that, 22 are autosomes and 1 pair are sex chromosomes, and mention which are the sex chromosomes and explain it. Then you put this chart. Direct don't write this one. XX, XY, XX, XY. No, that is not way of writing. Explanation is required. Then you are supposed to write this one. Okay. Now next one again, it is of monohybrid cross. So do not get confused by reading out the alleles and all. Now see here, yellow seed producing pea plant. Yellow seed producing pea plant is crossed with green seed producing pea plant. Now how many pairs of contrasting characters are there over here? How many pairs are there? Only 1 pair of contrasting character is given in the question, right? Yellow seed and green seed. 1 pair of contrasting character, we should do a monohybrid cross. If two pairs of contrasting characters are given in the question, then you go for the dihybrid cross. Sir, YY is there, sir, dihybrid. TT is there, so it is monohybrid. No, it will not work like that. Okay. So monohybrid cross, step by step, and majorly you mention all these parents, gametes, crossing of F1, okay, and F2 generation, ratio. After ratio, write in the bracket: 3 yellow, 1 green, 1 pure yellow, 2 impure. Do not forget to write all those information. Just do not write 3 is 2. What is 3? What is 1? You should know, right? Give the clear information while writing the answer and all. So similarly, one more question that they are asking is definitely all will go for first question only. Monohybrid cross, very simple. Now here they ask a dihybrid cross. Now see here, red flower tall pea plant is hybridized with the white flower short pea plant. How many pairs of contrasting characters are here over here? 2 pairs, right? One is height, tall and dwarf. Another one is the flower color, red and white flower. 2 pairs of contrasting characters, same method. First we will take out the F1 generation, self-crossing, put the checkerboard, 16 columns has to be there, and write the F1 generation, F2 generation phenotypic ratio. They will not ask the genotypic ratio for the F2 generation. They will ask the what? Only the phenotypic ratio in the F2 generation of dihybrid cross. Okay, hope this is clear. This you need to practice a lot. Now, grass, frog, snake. If the amount of energy in the first trophic level of the food chain is 100 joule, what is the amount of the energy available for the organism at the third trophic level? 10% law, we know, right? 90% of the energy will be utilized by that organism belongs to that particular trophic level for their life processes or the physical activities. Only 10% will be carried to the next level. Now they are asking 100 joules are there in the first trophic level. 100 joules are there in the first trophic level. They are asking about the third trophic level, how much it is. Now here it is 100, 10% means here it will come 10 joules, then here it will come only 1 joule. So 1 joule according to the 10% law. This is also very important. Our environment, no, either they will go for the question 10% law most of the time, or else about the ozone or waste management. Out of these 3, one concept will be asked. If all the waste are generated are biodegradable, what kind of the effects this could impact on our environment? All the waste are biodegradable. There are no non-biodegradable waste on the surface of it. Then what will happen? Definitely they will decompose, they produce a false smell, they will create the air pollution, all those things will happen even though it is biodegradable. Waste produce false smell and causes a pollution, act as a breeding ground for the pathogens and spread the disease. These 2 points we should mention. Next one. See, this is again 1 4 marks question. 2 sub questions are given. Again, or question is given. Okay, 4 marks. Okay. So let us try to understand. How are inorganic substances transported from the xylem tissue in the plants? Explain. Okay. So in the xylem tissue, vessels and tracheids form the continuous water conductive chain. See, xylem is made up of xylem vessel, tracheids, xylem fibers, and etc. Okay. But out of that, xylem vessels and tracheids are responsible for the transportation of the water and minerals. Parenchyma, xylem parenchyma, storage of the food. Xylem fiber, mechanical support. Remember that. At the root, cells in contact with the soil actively take up the ions. This creates the difference in the concentration of these ions between the root and the soil. Water therefore moves into the root from the soil. Evaporation of water molecule from the cell of the leaf creates a suction which pulls the water from the xylem cells of the roots. Sir, not understanding, sir, what is this, what you're trying to tell? Let me explain. This is very important. Now see here, what will happen, See, this is a plant and these are the roots. In the soil, we know what we have. We have the minerals. What are minerals? Those are the ions, right? And we have the water. Ions are solid particles. This happens during the night time. Where it happens? During night time. What is happening over here is, during the night time, the plant will spend some energy. What they spend? They spend energy and take up the ions over here. What they'll take up? They'll take the ions. That is called an active absorption. Spending energy and taking the ions inside the root from the soil. That is the minerals. Once they take the minerals, once they take the ions, once they take the solid particles inside the root, definitely what will happen? Inside the roots, what will happen? Inside the roots, there will be a lower concentration of the water compared to that of the soil. That will create the water difference. then what will happen to the water? What will start moving from the higher concentration towards the lower concentration into the root, which creates the root pressure. That's how the water will be transported to all the parts of the body. Clear? Similarly, now imagine this is the leaf, and from the stomata, one water molecule will escape when the stomata is open into the atmosphere. Then here the lower concentration is there. So from here, another water molecule is shift from higher concentration towards the lower concentration. Again from here till here. Again from here till here. Chain of shifting of water molecules will takes place. That creates a suction pull inside the xylem vessel, which will allow the water to move from the roots to all the parts of the body. Best example is, if you take the pipe and dip inside the bucket and suck the water and leave it. Continuously the water will start flowing, right? Opposite to the gravity. Yes or no? Because you have created the suction pull. Similarly, when the water will escape from the stomata into the atmosphere, then what will happen? Inside xylem vessel, the water will start moving from higher concentration towards the lower concentration. That creates a suction pull inside the xylem vessel, will start moving the water from roots to all the parts of the body. Very important. One is root pressure, another one is the transpiration. Two methods how the water will move from the roots to all the parts of the body. Clear? Yes. Write any 4 methods to eliminate the waste materials. We all know that, very simple. Plants get rid of excess of water by transpiration. Waste products are stored in the cellular vacuoles. Waste products may be stored in the leaves that fall off. Then resins and gums are stored in the old xylem vessel. Some waste substance excreted into the soil or the chemicals from the root itself. Very simple. And explain the digestion process in the small intestine of the humans. Okay, write it properly. See, small intestine receives the secretion from the liver and the pancreas. Liver will secrete the bile juice, which convert the acidic food coming from the stomach into alkaline. And bile salts will break down the large fat globules into small fat globules. Next one, pancreas will secrete the lipase and the pancreatic juice, which contains lipase and the trypsin. Trypsin will break down the proteins into amino acid when the food is in alkaline medium, and lipase will break down the fats into fatty acid and glycerol. So this is how the digestion takes place. So explain it properly. Mention about the villi, mention about the intestinal juice, and explain step by step. Do not write the answers in the para. Always try to write in the form of points only. It will be very easy for the developer to check your answers. What is the main function of the alveoli in the human beings? For the exchange of the gases. The last question is, how do daughter organisms produce in the Hydra, Spirogyra and amoeba? Explain. So they are asked, rarely what they will do, asexual reproduction, they will go for 1 mark question and all. Okay, 1 mark question. On the sexual reproduction only, they will go for 3 marks, 4 marks and all. Very, very minimum chances are there. They'll ask 5 marks, all the types of asexual reproduction. Very rare. This is not, I didn't see it earlier, but sometimes who knows, you be prepared. All are simple. Okay. So Hydra definitely undergo budding or regeneration. Or Spirogyra it undergo fragmentation. That is the, and amoeba will undergo binary fusion and all. So just explain the types of asexual reproduction in the form of points and all. Now all are changes that occur in the flower after fertilization. We all know that zygote will develop into embryo, ovule will develop into seed, ovary will develop into fruit, and all the remaining sepals, petals and all will shed off. So that's what will happen after fertilization. So how does a fertilized egg in a female develop into embryo in the uterus? So after fertilization, see, how does a fertilized egg in a female develop into embryo in the uterus, they are asking. Once the fertilization happen, where the fertilization happen in the oviduct, then the cell division will start. Slowly the zygote will develop into a ball of cells, and it will form the embryo, and that embryo slowly come from the oviduct and get implanted on the walls of the uterus of the mother. Okay, that's how it will develop, and further the embryo will develop into the fetus. That's how you are supposed to explain. The fertilized egg start dividing and forms a ball of cells, so-called embryo, where inside the oviduct, the embryo is implanted in the lining of the uterus, continue to grow and develop the organs to become the fetus. The next sub question, how does this embryo get nourishment in the mother womb? Explain. Okay, a special disc-shaped structure will develop on the walls of the uterus, so called the placenta. So the nutrients and the oxygen will be supplied to the fetus from the mother's blood, and whatever the waste is generated in the fetus, that will be again taken back into the mother's blood from the fetus itself. Same thing you should explain properly. Very, very important. Every year on the placenta concept they will ask. If they miss this, they will go for menstruation. Okay, see here. During pregnancy period, the embryo gets nutrition from the mother's blood with the help of the structures here, with the help of disc-shaped special tissue embedded in the uterine wall is called placenta. Write this line properly. Placenta. See here. Help of disc-shaped special tissue embedded in the uterine wall is called as placenta. It contains villi on the developing side of the tissue, provides a large surface area to the transportation of the oxygen and glucose from the mothers to embryo. One more point, what should write? And what are the waste generated in the fetus will be taken back again through the placenta back into the mother's blood. Okay. So explain the important functions of the testis and the seminal vesicle. Some question is there. Testis produce the sperms and testosterone hormone. Seminal vesicle make the transport of the sperm easier, and also they provide the nutrition, for the sperms and all. So this is all the biology part. So we have discussed model question part number 3, that is chemistry and biology part. So next my friend Amit sir will be taking going through the physics part. So stay focused. So within 2 days I am going to discuss again model question number 2 and 1. So please do subscribe my channel and please share with your friends, and they can take advantage of my videos and all. So I'll ask the Amit sir to continue the session. Thank you.
Hello students, again welcome back to the solution of model question paper 3 of the department. So here, coming to physics part, first question. A mirror produces erect and enlarged image of an object. This type of mirror and the nature of that image respectively. So 4 options have been given. So convex mirror and it is virtual image. And second question, the rate of energy consumed in an electric circuit is power, we call. It is what? Power. Next question. Draw the symbol of following components is there of electrical circuit. So first one, rheostat. So this is variable rheostat. This is also, both are same. You can draw this also and you can draw this also. And wires crossing without joining. This is a symbol of what? Wire crossing without joining there. Next question. What happens if the fuse wire connected to neutral wire instead of connecting what? Live wire. He is asking the fuse wire is connected instead of live wire when it is if it is connected to what? Neutral wire, what happens? So first one, it will not melt and breaks water circuit during overload, and electric equipments are what? Damaged here. Okay, so it will not melt and break the circuits during overload. So first thing is it is not going to melt there, and electric equipments are what? Damaged there. So when it is connected to live wire, when current is overflow is there, it is going to break automatically, and the electric appliances are there, no, they will be safe there. Next question. Define the phenomena expressed in below given figure. Which color does H and M respect here? So as I told earlier, okay, so this is what? Dispersion we call. Dispersion of what? Light. So when white light is passed through prism, it's going to what? Disperse there. Here it's going to form what? Waveguide. He is asking. So first question he is asking that is what red H and M will represent. So H represents what? Red, and M represents what? Blue color. color you have to represent. As I had told, that is, we have to start it from water, bottom you have to start, with wire. Okay, so H will represent red color and M will represent water, blue color. This phenomena, when light is passed, when white light is passed to prism, the light going to pass away, no, that phenomena is called as water, dispersion of water, light there. Next one, how does the resistance of conductor related to length of the conductor and area of cross section of the conductor? So one is directly, length is directly proportional to water, directly proportional there for the resistance, and inversely proportional to its water cross section there. Means if length increases, resistance also increases, and inversely proportional to area of cross section means how the cross section is going to decrease, no, the what will happen means that is resistance goes on increases. Next question. So here the sum of the materials are given and their corresponding resistivity is given. And here which is better conductor among silver and copper? Silver and copper is there, comparing only two is there. Where the resistivity is less, no? When the resistivity is less, it is conductor is water more there, its conductivity is more. So silver has low resistivity, compare 1.60 is there and here 1.63 is there. So this resistivity is water, less it is water, good conductor. Next one, alloys are used electric heating devices. Why? So one is alloys have higher resistivity. High resistivity is there. So when resistance is high, no, its heating effect is more there. And have high melting point. So high melting point means for easily they won't break there, they won't melt. These are the two reasons. So one is high resistivity and high melting point. And one end of the bar magnet is brought near the south pole of the magnetic needle. One bar magnet is there. So there one magnetic compass south needle is brought to south pole. So it will repel. When it will repel means when they are like poles. So here also magnetic needle is south pole is there, means it is deflecting means it is going away means this bar magnet is also what south pole here. So then this end of the magnetic deflects away is there. So both are what like poles. Here also south pole is there and magnet needle, that is compass, also is having south pole, it goes away there. South pole like poles what repel each other. Next one, draw the diagram to show image formation of an object between two F1 and F1 of convex lens. Mention position, size of image formed, and F1 is principal focus of the lens here. So here focus, we know that convex lens it is so it's having both the side focuses there. So when object is placed here between F1 and 2F1, correct, and image is formed beyond 2F2 here. Below the principal axis is there, so it is inverted is there. Beyond 2F2 it is formed. Nature is what? Real, inverted and large image will be there. Real, inverted and a large image. Next question. What is presbyophobia? And mention the reason and suggest remedy for the defect. So presbyopia is what? Difficulty to see both near and far object both. Okay, so three cases we have studied there. That is nearsightedness, farsightedness, and this is third one. So what are the reasons? Weakening of ciliary muscles. Here we will be having a ciliary muscles. They will be weakened, and diminishing the flexibility of water, eye lens. Means the flexibility of eye lens will be what? Reduced because of what? Aging there. And what is the remedy? In this case, we are using bifocal lens. We are using bifocal lens means what? Concave lens as well as what? Convex lens. Both the lenses we are using. One is for nearsightedness, one is for what? Farsightedness. So usually this will be seen in what? Aged people. Next question. What is short-sightedness? What are the reasons for this defect? How can it can be what? Corrected is there. So short-sightedness means what? That is nearby objects can seen very clearly, but distant object what? Not clearly. That is distinctly. And reason is what? Excessive curvature of what? Eye lens. Eye lens is what? Curvature becomes more. And elongation of the eyeball. Elongation means enlargement of the eyeball. And how it can be corrected means using concave lens it can be corrected. Okay. Next one. What are the reasons for overloading in a circuit, electric circuit? So first one is what? If insulation of wire used are damaged. So whatever wire we are using, no, when live wire and that is another one, live wire and neutral wire come together, so this will happen there. Fault in appliances, whatever home appliances we are using, no, any fault is there in that appliances, that time it will happen. So live wire and neutral wire come in contact there. Second one, connecting too many appliances for one socket, that is the reason for what? That is overloading that. What is solenoid? How can electromagnet be prepared from water? Solenoid. So in solenoid what we are going to do means one cardboard will take and will round it. On this a copper wire is wounded. Yes. Okay, here we are going to wrap a coil, copper wire around it, and then we have to place one magnetic material, means like iron we are going to, and we have to pass water current there. That only we call it as water solenoid. Next question. Mention the properties of magnetic field lines. So first one, field lines arises from north pole and end to water south pole. And second question, field lines never intersect each other. They won't intersect each other. And third one, field lines are stronger at water, closer and stronger magnetic field. Okay, at the poles they are stronger. And field lines are closed curve, we call closed curve. They are not straight line, they are closed there. If you consider under the magnet, inside the magnet they will be parallel, but outside they are what? Curves there. Next one, what is reflection of light? When a light rays traveling in one medium hits the polished surface and travels back into the same medium, we call it as what? Reflection of a light there. State laws of reflection. First one is the angle of incidence is equals to what? Angle of reflection. Second one is the incident ray, reflected ray and the normal lie on the same plane. Coming to next question. What is focal length of the mirror? The distance between the focal and the principal focus, we call it as what? That is focus we call in a spherical mirror. Next, what is refraction of light? When a ray of light travels obliquely from one transparent medium and into another, will change its direction in a second medium. Means in general, when a ray travels from one medium to another medium, it changes its what's a direction. That is, we call it as what? Refraction of a light. Next one, what is Snell's law? That we call sine I by sine R equals to what? A constant we call. For any two given pair of media, the ratio of sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of angle of the refraction is what? A constant. Sine of angle of incidence to sine of angle of refraction is what? A constant. This we call it as what? A Snell's law we call. Define the following with respect to lens, optic center and aperture. Okay, so optic center means what? It is central point of the lens, optic center. And the effective diameter of the circular outline of a spherical lens, it may be in convex lens or a concave lens, that we call it as what? Aperture we call. Next one, observe the diagram given below. Electric circuit, find the total resistance and total current in the circuit. So total resistance is given here. So and they are three are parallel, 12 ohm, 8 ohm and 16 ohm. They are parallel, and again 3 ohm connected in what? Series. So these are resistance in parallel we call, and here we are having 9 volt. Okay, and here given R1 is 12 ohm, R2 is 8 ohm, R3 is what? 16 ohm, and R4 is what? 3 ohm. Voltage is given 9 volt, and it is parallel connection. So 1 by resistance in parallel is there. 1 by Rp equal to 1 by R1, 1 by R2, 1 by R3. R1, R2, R3 resistance in series. 1 by 12, 1 by 8 and 1 by 16. LCM is 48. Correct? 4 plus 6 plus 3. So that will get, that is 13 by 48. 13 by 48 means resistance in parallel if you take means it will become inverse. 48 by 13. This will give what? 3.69 ohms will give. And what you have to find means current you have to find. Now total resistance you have to find. Total resistance. That is Rp plus R4. Resistance in parallel we got 3.69. There R4 is there 3. So total will get what? 6.69 ohm will get total resistance. And electric current I equals to what? V by R. V is 9 volt is there, divided by 6.69 is there. This will get what? 1.34 what? Amperes will give. Coming to last question of that is model question paper number 3 of physics part. An electric fan rated 50 volt is used for 6 hours in a day. What is the cost of energy consumed for 30 days at rupees 4 per kilowatt hour? Total energy consumed for electric fan in 30 days you have to find that. So 50 watt is there, and it is 6 hours per day is there, 6 hours into 30 days. 50 into 6 into 30 means it is what? 9,000 watt hour. So 1000 is there, you have to convert it for what? Kilowatt hour, because rate is at per what? Per kilowatt hour is there. And thus the total energy consumed for 9 days, 30 days is what? 9 kilowatt hour into rupees 4 is there. So this will get what? Rupees 36. Okay, by this we are going to end physics part, and next chemistry and biology will continue. Mahavir sir.